Hi, my name's Tom, and today I'd like to show you how to use the Cerco Homes Personal Financial Budget tool. So the first thing we're going to do is log in. Once you're logged in, it will take you to the My Tools section where you can click on the Personal Financial Budget link. That's under Analysis Tools. The first section is monthly income. So in this example, we're using a couple, Mike and Monica. Mike makes about $92,000 a year working for a pharmaceutical company, and Monica makes about $18,000 a year as a substitute teacher. So they have a combined W-2 income of $110,000 gross. So we would take that amount, enter it into the box, enter the number of months, which is 12, and we'd come up with a figure of $9,167. We'd enter that into the salary and wages box. They do not have any rental income or any other income to speak of. We'll click the Save button. The information's been updated, and we'll go to the next section. Monthly expenses. This section covers their current monthly expenses, but one thing to bear in mind if you're putting together some estimates for a home purchase, if you are a renter, it's very likely that you're not paying water and sewer, you're not paying homeowners insurance, you don't pay for repairs in your unit, and you probably don't pay for any maintenance, whether that's clipping the lawn or fixing a clogged gutter. Many apartment buildings do not come with built-in security systems. That's typically an add-on feature. So that's something to consider if you're purchasing a home. But today we're talking about specific monthly expenses to try and figure out what their net income is and what they could potentially afford. So now Mike and Monica are paying about $12.50 a month in rent. They pay their electric bill, which is about $175 per month. They pay their cellular phone. Cellular runs them about $145 a month combined. They have a policy where they pay about $65 a piece with unlimited minutes, and it totals out at around $145 with taxes and other fees and charges. Their cable bill also includes their home telephone and their internet. One thing to consider also if you live in the northern part of the U.S. Is heating. So what you might spend on heat on a monthly basis. So if you have electric, that would be covered under utilities, but if you have oil or gas, that's something that would need to be added in. I'll save the information, and we'll move on to the next section. Monthly living expenses. Groceries. Mike and Monica spend about $150 a week in groceries. They don't have any children. If you have kids, you probably are spending slightly more than $150 a week. Mike and Monica aren't required to go through any additional education that they must pay for out of their own pocket. They don't have any children, so they don't have any child care expenses. Mike is required to look very professional for his job. He's required to wear a suit typically and a tie. He does launder some of his clothing. he spends about $30 a week at the dry cleaner. They don't have a housekeeper, and their total monthly living expenses are around $720. So we'll save this, and we'll move on to the next section. Transportation expenses, auto loan and financing. Mike's car loan is about $400 a month, and Monica has a small car loan of about $200 a month. They spend about $300 a month in gas. Monica doesn't have to commute very far, but Mike does spend a little bit of time on the road. Their auto insurance runs them about $240 a month. Mike's not really required to pay for parking, and a lot of this stuff he expenses out using his corporate credit card. So these aren't necessarily expenses that come out of his pocket for his business travel. So total here is $1140 a month. We'll save it, and we'll move on to the next section. Entertainment. Being newlyweds, Mike and Monica do still go out. They don't have kids, as some of us who are parents find we spend more time at home than we used to. So right now they pay for Netflix, which runs them. They have the 3 DVDs a month that costs about $25 a month. They go to the movies about twice a month. For the two of them, it typically costs them about $50. Remember, it's $10.50 a piece per ticket, and then popcorn is another $20 roughly or more. So the whole thing costs them roughly $50 to go out to the movies. If you go out twice a month, that's $100 a month. Dining out with drinks and cocktails, typically somewhere around $200 a month. They like to dine out at least twice a month. They belong to the YMCA. They have individual plans which cost them roughly $80 a month. Mike and Monica both like to swim in the pool, and they love the Y because it's really close to their apartment. Mike pays some out-of-pocket travel expenses for upgrades for a flight. Mike likes to take business class. His company will not always pay for it. Sometimes he will pay for the upgrades himself if he's going on a long flight. Total entertainment and recreational expenses are about $905. So we'll save this, and we'll move on to the next section. Health expenses. Mike covers both of them as a married couple under his policy. He has a really great policy working for the pharmaceutical company, but still he has to pay a portion of his health and dental for the both of them, and that runs him about $375 a month. Monica has a small prescription, costs her about $75 a month. That's not covered by the health insurance provider. Mike and Monica both have insurance policies. He's covered for about $500,000, and she's covered for about $250,000, and the policy costs them about $110 a month. Total health care expenses $560 per month. We'll save it, and we'll move on to the next category. Financial expenses. So combined, Mike and Monica both invest in 401ks. Mike tries to put away at least $500 a month toward his 401k. Monica, though she doesn't make much money, definitely is very conscious of her retirement, and puts in about $150 a month to her 401k. Combined, they have about $250 a month in credit card debt. They typically like to overpay their credit cards to pay down anything they might splurge on, whether it's a weekend getaway or something for their apartment, a new couch or whatever. That costs them total about $900 a month. other expenses. Mike, because he's required to really look very presentable and deals with a lot of different people at a lot of different levels within different corporations and organizations, he does need to update his wardrobe continually. He spends total about 100 between the two of them. He spends about 100 a month. She spends somewhere around $50 a month seasonally for clothing. Okay, and so once we've entered in all this data, we're taken to the monthly breakouts, not only income totals but also all the expense totals, and we're able to really get a very insightful view into just where all the majority of expenses are. So scrolling down to the very bottom, we see with their actual cash is. Now keep in mind, this is based on gross income. So taxes, income taxes are not included in this estimation. But the thing to remember is if you're purchasing a home, you will, and you really need to speak with an accountant about this, about your individual tax situation. But one of the advantages to owning a home is that you can deduct all the interest payments. Well, the way an amortization schedule works is that, the payments you make once you obtain a mortgage typically are all interest. Very little of the money goes towards the principal in the first, half of the mortgage term. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, you're really not paying off much of the principal for the first 15 years of the mortgage. Sadly, with the way amortization works is you're paying off the interest first before you begin to attack the principal. So bottom line is that a lot of that can be written off. So if you have a decent sized mortgage, you can write off the real estate taxes, you can write off the interest, so you're virtually writing off the entire payment. So that's a good thing. That's something that can offset the fact that you have this new additional expense, and allow you to claim more dependence, so you can take home more of your money now, and you won't have to worry about it later at tax time. But I'd highly recommend that you speak with an attorney regarding that. Thank you very much.